Hey, this is Chris with Protect Your Children Incorporated. Website is protectyourchildren.org, protectyourchildren.org, or protectfrompredators.org. So, people that are clicking on this are probably going, what the heck is that title? Well, it's not really clickbait, but it's partially true. What do we mean by kids want to be abused? First of all, you know what the S means, but we can't put it in the title or the algorithm will boot the video right away. So after a child is initially abused, a lot of times they get addicted to that feeling. They get addicted to the hormones, they get addicted to the sexual feeling. It becomes like a drug addiction. It really does. Sex becomes like a drug addiction, especially to a young child. This is why predators target young children. They try to target them when they're young so that it becomes the most powerful feeling that they've ever felt. And then they'll continue to go back to the predator for repeated abuse. Now, you might say, how do you guys know this? Well, we've seen this before. We've heard the stories. We hear about it all the time in the news. And we're not talking about a physically forced, like threatened, I'll beat you up if you don't do this with me kind of abuse. We're talking about a grooming that leads to what appears to be a consensual relationship with a predator and a child. We say it appears that way because usually at that point the child has already been addicted, if you will, to how it felt. They actually might think it's love. They might think it's normal. They may feel like the predator actually cares about them, right? It's something special between them two. So what happens is kids will continue to go back to look for that type of situation. Now, this is hard to hear, but I'm telling you the truth. We've been investigating this stuff for years, and this happens. There are circumstances where kids will repeatedly go back to that teacher, that predator teacher, or go back to the abuser's house, looking for that kind of interaction. Because once they're hooked, their young minds have been totally flooded with endorphins and different hormones and chemicals, and they don't know how to stop it. So when we say kids want to be abused, well, not at first they don't, but they can become addicted and continue to look for it. And it's sad to say, but this is what happens. It's like a young person or an adult even that gets high for the first time. They might go, hey, that felt really amazing. I want to go do it again. So they will continue to go back to the place where they got their drug the first time. And a lot of addicts will tell you, even 20 years later, why are you still getting high? Why are you still doing drugs? You've lost your family, you've been in prison, you're homeless, you're out of money. Why do you keep going back? And they'll tell you it's to get that first feeling. They want to get that first high all over again. Now, they can never get it because they've gotten older, their body's grown a tolerance to the drug. They'll never get that first high feeling, but they continue to chase it. Well, kids are the same way. If they get abused by some predator, some perv, okay, they get that initial high, if you will, that flood of emotions and endorphins and hormones and chemicals, and they get addicted to it, especially if you have kids that are going through traumatic situations at home or in their life where they have a lot of sadness, a lot of hurt, a lot of loneliness. They have a lot of emotions that they don't know how to handle. It depresses them and makes them feel like garbage. And then some perv comes along and gives them this quote-unquote feel good, and they get addicted to it. This is why it's so important to be nosy, to keep an eye on the people that your kids are around, to have open conversations with your children, right, about this type of thing. You can warn them. You can say, hey, Somebody might tell you that something is not going to hurt you, but it doesn't mean that it won't. You can tell them the tricks and the traps and the threats that predators use. You can tell them that it doesn't always start out with an immediate type of, let me just reach out and touch you. That usually starts out with sexual comments or sexual talk or an attempt to show them something. Something to test where they're at. It's called a grooming process. Predators want to see how much a child is demoralized already. They want to see how much a child is desensitized already, so they know if they can have a chance at getting away with doing this to a child. It's very sick and it's very twisted, but this is how they operate. You need to have these kinds of conversations with the kids so they understand this. So they can get addicted and they will continue to go back until they reach an age or until they reach a point where they realize it's wrong or they don't want it anymore, or the perv is pushing something that's too much for the child that scares them, or any other factors really that can stop it. But a lot of times kids will stay in these type of abusive relationships for years and never tell anybody. Now that could be because of threats. It could be because they feel shame and guilt because they've done it more than once, which doesn't mean it's their fault, but their emotions took over, their hormones took over, the chemicals flooded their brains. So we have to have these open conversations. Protect Your Children Incorporated does a live show every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We cover these topics and a whole lot more. Education, awareness. We stream live on Rumble, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Just look up Protect Your Children Incorporated, and you can join us for the live show. Get the kids; they can join us as well. We keep it very PG, but it's stuff that the kids need to know, and it's stuff that the kids need to learn. So please share this video. If you haven't liked and subscribed on the platform that you're watching this on, please do, and share it so that more parents can be aware and kids can be aware of the addiction factors of sexual behavior. A lot of them don't think it's going to be that bad until it's too late. So let's keep the kids safe. Until next time, this is Chris with Protect Your Children Incorporated. Continue to be nosy, have open conversation. Keep your eyes open, parents, because predators are all over the place just looking to get to your child. Thank you for watching.